As two proud graduates of public school, my husband and I made the decision to send our son, AJ, to public school. Pre-K, kindergarten were pretty much great. First grade was okay. Second and third grade started to get rocky, and third grade rocked me to my core. Although we are still staying with public school for now, I'm not sure that this will be our long-term decision through high school for AJ for a variety of reasons. Without getting into violating teachers' privacy and our privacy and all sorts of things like that, in AJ's third grade year, we got a teacher who was less than stellar, who made no bones about the fact that she disliked my child, the fact that she knew that he could call her out on her professional shortcomings, and that he reported those things to me immediately. And I'm not crying, it's just tears a little bit, but I may cry. So we had a very rocky third grade year that included moving him from her class to other classes, to his gifted teacher stepping up to fill in the blank for that other teacher. We tried to transfer schools. We tried to request a hardship transfer. And there were just things that we were not able to do to break out of this cycle of having a crappy teacher. She was the only teacher who taught that subject matter in his grade at that school. Private school was not a real option for our family and our budget, especially as we were trying to make that decision mid-year. Homeschool was not as easy as an option as my beloved homeschooling friends do. That's wonderful for you, and I know that is your ministry, and that is great. That's not necessarily an option for me as a work-at-home parent. And at the time, we were making an effort to get AJ into a more prestigious private school going into fourth grade. And I thought it was really important for him to have his letters of recommendation, his standardized scores, which he does great at, regardless of the lackluster school year and this particular teacher's inability to be professional. AJ, for the most part, maintained his scores. I can say this was the first year he got a B. And I feel badly in saying that because I know I have plenty of friends and maybe your kids get B's, but our child has always been a straight A student. So aside from getting B's this year from this particular teacher, his grades were great. And we thought that he would be an ideal candidate for this prestigious school here in Atlanta. And we went through the interview process. We got called back for a second interview, and then he did not get in. And I think for me, that was like the beginning of the avalanche of the mom guilt of not being able to fully rescue him from this crappy teacher in this particular school, not being able to give him, and it's not, when I say not being able to give, these are my words and my feelings and my impressions. These are not the facts, because I wasn't giving it to him, he was experiencing it. And it was my child's first time experiencing difficulty and experiencing adults who let him down, because we make an effort not to surround him by certain adults. Like there's certain people we don't spend time with for certain reasons because of life choices or decisions that they make. So not getting into that school kind of took things down. I really kind of retreated in a lot of ways. So it was just rough. It was really, really, really rough. As we go into this new school year, AJ is going to be in a magnet school that is specifically for high achieving students. So I am praying and continuing to pray that this will be a better match for him. And if it's not, then I I just cannot. I have to say that I took on a lot of this guilt myself, and I think mothers do, or primary caretakers do. If you are a 2-dad family and one dad takes more responsibility for the kids because he works at home or works from home, or that's just the dynamic of your family, I think you could easily feel the same way. What is it? There's a gospel song about coming up the rough side of the mountain. I think the rough side of the mountain is over. I think. I pray we have found a better fit. And I sympathize with any parent who has a special needs child, because I just got a glimpse of what you go through in advocating for my gifted child, and especially a child who's not just gifted with his scores. AJ has just a greater understanding. He understands sarcasm. He interacts with a lot of adults. I'm with him most of the day. And for him to see so clearly that another adult was targeting him was astonishing. For him to know that I was doing my best to go up through the chain of command in our public school system, and the only options that I got back throughout the school system were to move my child, not to move this teacher. And I know there are great teachers out there, and we've had some great teachers, but there are some teachers who need to be doing other things and not being in the presence of children. If you can't control your language in the classroom, if you can't control your outbursts in the classroom, you need to go someplace else. I know teacher unions are there for a reason, so that teachers are protected, but I have just noticed the glaring hole in public schools where students are not protected. And this teacher did everything just shy of putting her hands on my child, in terms of her language, in terms of her retaliatory language, in terms of her childish language, and it was excruciating. So for anyone who's going through this, I wish I could say I had a solution, because I do not. I just know what I experienced. I know that even with all of the things I have in my toolkit and being a media person and all those things, teachers are protected. Crappy teachers are protected too often. Not saying all the time, but too often, because we do see stories on the news of teachers who have put their hands on children, who have had inappropriate relationships with children, and those are usually nipped in the bud as soon as they are reported. But anything shy of that is not. So thanks to my Atlanta local friends and some of my long distance friends who listened to this horrible journey we went on for the 3rd grade year, and who helped me through coping with all my mom guilt and thinking about what I could do differently, and what was not just my husband and I could do differently, and what was best for our son. School is tough. Public school is tough. Private school is tough. Navigating schools in the year of our Lord 2019 and 2020 is way more difficult than anything our parents ever experienced. And I wish I had a solution. I wish I could wrap this video up with a bow and say, hey, here's what you do next time. I don't know what you do. You pray, you put your head down, you keep fighting for your kids, you document everything like I did, you take them to therapy, you surround them by loving people, and pray for the best. I'd love to hear what you think, and you can ask me questions here on mommytalkshow.com. I can't get into the minutia of things and give you names and things like that, but I can't get sued. I can't afford to get sued. So listen to your children. That's all I have to say. Listen to your children. I am glad that my child felt confident to tell me and his father what he was experiencing. And I had a principal who did the most that she could within the parameters of public school, but it was still extremely crappy. And I did not expect this to be a 10-minute video, but so be it. I'll see you on mommytalkshow.com. Now that I've got this off of my chest, I'm hoping I can move past and give you guys some more great content and some more great helpful tools on raising your family. I'll see you soon.